Welcome back to Coach's Corner as we hit the last 2 weeks before the Christmas holidays. And for our Ponca City Wrestlers, probably the last team of all of our winter sports teams to start. But they'll have a busy week this week, and don't feel sorry for them because they'll have plenty of action before the Christmas holidays are over with, and then very busy month of January. And this fella right here, you recognize Jason Leavitt, of course, former state champion at Ponca City High School, who is now our head wrestling coach, taking over for athletic director Chris Walker. And doggone it, we were going to get the season started last week with Washington out of Tulsa. The weather didn't allow us to do that. First of all, welcome to our TV program. We're going to make that match up. I guess it's a district match, isn't it?
Yes, first of all, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a district match, and we'll get it made up. Whether we competed a duel in the Tulsa area, we'll just wrestle a try there or something. But we'll certainly get it made up.
Absolutely. I know you wanted to wrestle that match because going into this week with Perry coming up, the big tournament, yes, you wanted some of your guys to at least get on the mat a little bit.
Absolutely. I think it's a blessing in disguise, but at the same token, we're starting to do open tournaments in the month of November, and some of our guys have already have 9 matches under their belt. So with that duel being canceled, I feel like we're ahead of the curve, and it's just a blessing in disguise that we did that.
You're not behind, then that's good news.
No.
This week we have a match with Enid at Enid on Tuesday, and you know when you were wrestling in high school, and it wasn't that long ago. Look at the face; the guy could still be in a high school movie.
Yeah.
Enid wasn't very good, but Enid's gotten a little better over the years, haven't they?
They have. Jory Dick, he's been there the last several years, and he's stepped away this past season. And Corey Clayton, who was at Union High School when he got their program turned around, he's their head coach now. Has a son wrestling for them. They've got a few good, solid kids on their lineup. I like the way we match up with them, though, for sure. What
about your team? And again, it's early, and you know wrestling it's in February, but you have to go through these first couple of tough months to get yourself ready. But are you happy with the lineup that you're going to put out for at least the first week of the season?
I am happy with it, and you know we've still got some weight issues, and we'll get those ironed out as time goes. Our kids, it's just the initial shock of being down to weight the first time, and it's a shock for the body, their family. I mean, it's a total family atmosphere when they go home, that everybody makes a sacrifice, even wrestlers, coaches, family members. It's just total sacrifice, and we're all getting accustomed to it now, and 3 months out of the year, this is what matters. You know, we're going to wrestle freestyle and open tournaments and camps over the summer, but this is what your career is based off of, is these 3 months.
So one of the things that, you know, all these coaches that I've worked with, whether it be Steidley or Walker, Coach Leavitt, guys may think they're in shape, and nobody is in shape in December, are they?
No, they're not. They're not. And I didn't understand it until I actually made a choice and committed myself to hard work, and I started off my senior season just a little bit unknown and just worked every single day, whether win or lose the night before. I knew I had to come back in, work that much harder the next day. It's kind of like I tell our kids, what are you going to do to make yourself 1% better at least each day? And towards the end of the year, your mouth's not open when you're breathing through your nose. You're in shape, and you can feel that you've peaked. You know, and right now is the time for them to get in shape and also work on technique.
I've always believed that when you get to a regional final or a state tournament, there's not much difference between the wrestlers athletically. Yeah. The difference is who might be in a little better shape, and I would bet Absolutely. You in some ways would agree with that too.
I agree with that 100%. You see in the state finals, you have your real close matches, and it's who wants it more and who's willing to out-tough the other person, I guess, you could say.
Yeah, and who's sacrificed
Yeah.
in November and December.
Absolutely.
They're the ones that are going to be on the podium. You know, one of the other things that's changed a little bit since you were in high school, and not a lot has changed because it wasn't that long ago, but the influx of ninth graders into high school wrestling programs. You know, you would see a few in the lower weights, but it just seems like, Jason, that, and you've had experience obviously in Claremore, and are you seeing, and is there going to be an influence of ninth graders in our high school team this year?
Yes, there definitely is. As of right now, we have 3 seniors and 4 to 5 juniors, and the rest are sophomore and freshmen. I mean, we're young, but I like being young because you know what to expect, and you have sky's the limit. You know, you have years to build on.
Right, you've got a little bit of every class in there, so the cupboard, so to speak, won't be bare for the following season.
Absolutely, and I was talking to somebody just a couple days ago, and you know, the cupboard's not full, but it's not empty. You know, we've got good kids, and I'm proud of them for the way they're working. They answer the bell every day.
And it used to be, I think there was a philosophy that maybe you didn't rush kids when they were in ninth grade up there because, you know, you don't want them to get, you know, downcast, get beaten at a tournament, maybe lose their confidence. But I think the mentality now is you might as well go out there and find out what it's like. And if you're the best kid in your school at that weight, then most coaches, I think, are going to go ahead and go with that ninth grader too.
Absolutely. You know, it only takes one match to change a person's career. If they can beat that one good person, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but a month later, we beat them, that changes our whole career. Because now we know where we're at.
And Perry's a great example of that. The Perry tournament this weekend, you know, you go in there, and even if you don't win the championship, if you have some kids that just win a match or two and can build that confidence, it could do wonders for the rest of their season.
Yes, Perry tournament, we're going to see some more teams that we haven't seen in it in quite some time.
Who's in it, Coach?
We'll see Sand Springs, Union, Stillwater, Perry, Blackwell, Arc City, and some of these teams are coming over from what was Mid-America at Tulsa Union High School, the Mid-America Nationals, and now, since that's just dissolved, they've tried to move it to Enid, but it's going to be tough to get the same draw out that way. So we're going to see a lot of good, really good teams coming in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, you mentioned right there in Union and Sand Springs and Stillwater. These are all teams that, if they don't get a bunch of injuries, and then you throw us in there with Blackwell and Perry and Arc City, these are all teams that at the end of the season are going to be tough. I think, and in our classification, 6A, it's wide open this year. There's a lot of good teams, aren't there?
Oh, yes. I give Edmond North the credit of being number one because it's rightfully so.
They got the Dixon boys coming back.
Yes.
That's 3 champions that will be hard to knock out there.
And they won both dual and tournament state last year, and in Broken Arrow second, their runner-up, and Stillwater, you know, they've had some quality kids move into their program, and so that automatically moves them up to the top, you know, at least somewhere in there. So, and Sand Springs has some really good kids moving up from their junior high.
It makes the schedule look really tough. If you're the coach looking at that schedule,
yes, sir.
Not only the duels, but those tournaments, when you hit after Perry and you hit those tournaments, well, you go to Kansas City in a couple of weeks, and, you know, these may be easy compared to that Kansas City thing, which is just a brutal. Now, did you go up there when you wrestled?
To Kansas City?
Yes.
No,
okay.
I was still part of the group that went to Reno.
Okay. So you've heard about Kansas City.
Yes.
Did you ever go up there as a coach at Claremore or anything like that?
I did my first year here in Ponca
Okay.
whenever I was an assistant. So it was a busy day.
It's just, and
busy
it's,
weekend.
you know, it's just a who's who, and there's state champions from all over. And again, take the records, they are what they are.
Yeah.
Kid gets out and he wrestles as hard as he can. Then you can take something from that film and you can sit him down and you can learn from it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it sounds fun. The fun part for me is to see, and I've known your mom and dad for such a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but they're at every match, every time you're, they're enjoying this, I think, more than you are right now.
They probably are. They probably are, and they're going to be tomorrow night with us in Enid.
Uh-huh.
They've already mentioned that.
That's
so
kind of the family part of it that you're talking about.
It is.
That family part doesn't just go for the wrestlers and the mat maids and all those that are in the program. That goes for the coach's family too.
Oh,
it?
absolutely. My wife's already buying my boys singlets, and
Mm-hmm.
and my youngest, he's 2 months right now, and he's already going to have a singlet. So
That's-
it's going to be ingrained in him.
That's terrific. Well, good luck against Enid on Tuesday night, the season opener for our wrestlers, and of course they'll be at the Robson Fieldhouse wrestling, and we hope that you get out and see Coach Leavitt and his wrestlers this season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year on Coach's Corner.